Roundabout, the most hated circle in the United States. And why? Even with this, all the supporting evidence that roundabout is saving a lot of life in a year, why there is no roundabout in US? They only use traffic light instead of roundabout. And all other countries in the world have adopted and accepted roundabout, and they are using roundabout all over. You see, roundabout started very long time ago when even there was no car. Roundabout were made to control horse traffic. And at that time, roundabout were very, very badly designed, and by having that, it was not doing what it was supposed to do. Because today roundabouts are made to slow people down, and in the extent of slowing people down, they save lives. But at that point, people were not slowing down, they were just going through roundabout with the same speed as they were going on a highway. And by doing that, majority of country did do away with roundabout. But coming to around 1970 in the United Kingdom, that was the first place where roundabout were modified, and they started appearing again in all over Europe and United Kingdom. But this time round, we started seeing a new shape, new roundabout, and new design. Where earliest, the old age roundabout, they were very huge circle, which were very annoying to people who are using them, because it was even, you could find a 1 kilometer radius roundabout. But with time, we have managed to reduce the size of roundabout. These days, modern roundabout, they are very short, so there is no one can complain about. And yet, we are still not able to see roundabout in United States. Why is it? You see, people in United States have failed to change their mentality of how they view and see roundabout. Roundabout is not an obstacle. Roundabout is not something which is brought in to bother you or to stop you from going where you are going. No. Roundabout is something which have been brought to save life. Before, you could find that people who in those countries, let's take even Europe, and it's a big continent, you find that those countries which have so much relied on roundabout, which have a lot of roundabout, have the smallest number of death rate or even accident occurring on the junction. But traffic light doesn't control anyone, because if I'm in a traffic light, I will accelerate and go where I was going. If I am maybe at the influence of alcohol, or I am in hurry, that one will not prevent or stop me from going at high speed. But at roundabout, you have no otherwise, because the road is first of all curved. No one go fast on a curved or even a corner. Most of us do slow down. So you are slowing down because of this curve. It's a very, very sharp curve. Then, second off, the roundabout are made to be able to adhere to law that you give the other person light of passage. But on a traffic light, everyone have a light of passage. All they need to do is to wait their light to turn green. But, and you see, when you find yourself at a junction, most of the time, the junction is not that busy. So if I am coming at a very high speed, I will not stop. I'll keep going and pass through junction. What if there is someone else who was using this junction? What will happen? We will collide. It will either be a fatality or it will be a very, very, very huge accident which will happen there. But at a roundabout, we are forced to slow down. We are forced to go at a very low speed, and we are forced to give way to people who have light of the way. And light of way, most of the country you find is the person at your light. A person who is driving on your light is the person who have light of the way. You find it easy to establish. If you go to a country which doesn't have something like that, it will be easy for them. You can set a rule that you give a light of way to a person who is on the left of your side. When I say of your side, I'm meaning the left of the driver. And by doing that, people slow down. People don't slow down just because you have put a big sign telling them how dangerous it is, telling them to slow down when they are going somewhere. Actually, 90% of the people who are using the road don't lead any sign on the road. They just come passing, and when you ask them why are you speeding, they just tell you, no, I'm in the limit. They don't know when the limit start and when the limit end. But as we are saying roundabout is a good thing, it still have disadvantage because we have yet to see a good roundabout which is safe to any cyclist. Majority roundabout is a dangerous and a very, very dangerous place for any cyclist. If you are a cyclist, there is high chance of you getting or involving in accident in a roundabout, unless that roundabout have special lane, have a guardrail which is protecting cyclists when they are moving around the roundabout. But for motorists, roundabout is the best. We can only be able to control the speed of people, the speed in which people are traveling in, and the speed of the people, the speed in which people they are moving on the highway, by just reducing the size of the highway. Even if you employ even a million police officer, even if everyone become a police officer, people will not stop speeding, because you cannot give me such a big space to move around and then expect me to start moving at a very low speed. You cannot tell me this is a highway, but now you can only be able to travel at this highway at 80 km per hour. No, I'll be traveling at a highest speed as possible. And that's why you find in highway, in junction, people follow the other person who is in front of you. If the car in front of you is speeding up, there is high chance, and I mean there is high chance, that the car which is behind will be speeding. If the car which is in front of you just come passing through traffic light as if there is nothing going on, there is high chance the person who is following you will come passing through the traffic light as if there's nothing going on, because we don't look out through the window to see what is going on. You find that if the car in front of me stop, I'll stop. Then after I stop, that's when I start wondering, why do we stop? And I realize that the traffic light is red or green, or it's just prohibiting me to go through the junction. But if it's a roundabout, we all go at a very slow speed. And I can tell you this, 90% of the cars which are in roundabout, they travel at a less than 20 km per hour. Even 20 km per hour, it's a very high speed. You find majority of people are traveling at around 5 km per hour. And by doing that, we have slowed them. If we can put 2, 3, 4 roundabouts on a highway, that will protect the people who are using it. A bump doesn't protect people that much, because if I am a driver and I am on my way just rushing to do whatever I'm doing, I'm driving at high speed. If I see a bump, I will not be able to stop. I will hit that bump at highest speed ever. It's either my car will roll over or fly up, or it will just proceed with the journey. If that bump was put there to protect the pedestrian, if that bump was put there to protect maybe people who are crossing on the road, then what does that mean? I will hit them and go away. But if it's a roundabout, or if it's a very thin road, I can tell you this, I will slow down, because at that time I will be worrying not to hit this car which have been parked on side, not to hit on this car which are moving on my opposite direction. And that's why you find Netherlands have managed to reduce its fatality to the highest possible. Actually, in US, there is almost every family, they have someone who have died or ever involved in accident. It's not such a big thing to find someone who have been involved in accident. But in Netherlands, accidents are unheard of. Accidents are something which occur once in a lifetime, and by having something like that, you find that 90% of those people who live there, they are safe. 90% of the road user, they feel okay and they don't worry when they are going out, because you are almost 100% you are all certain that you will come back home in safe hand and in one safe. Roundabouts can be the solution for reducing accident, and on other hand, they can be the reason why more people are dying. All we need to know is where to put a roundabout and which kind of a roundabout we need it. If it's a place where we have a lot of traffic in car, there is very good design for roundabout. If it's a place where we have a very traffic and a very big traffic of bicycle, then at that time we cannot use motor vehicle roundabout, because it will be a killing zone. It will be a disastrous, because it's not meant for bicycle or cyclist, and by doing that we will be killing more people instead of saving. Thank you.